here to talk about my team and how the season went. The beginning of the season was win loss, as we could see. Town, Disciples, Snorlax, Pillow, Busters, then the Pranksters, and then I kind of went on a little losing streak here. Most of them going through games pretty tight. A couple. Everybody was really good this season, so I can't say they were bad losses. Every loss I got, the opponent played really well. Every win I got, the opponent played really well. Everyone planned really well. Everyone played really well. It was a pretty exciting season all the way around. It was Reg H, first pick overall. So, I guess talk about the team a little bit and how it kind of came to be. And the initial pick, Goldingo. I know we had the poll to begin the season. Who do we expect going number one? I voted Goldingo. Got the first pick. Made that come true and drafted Goldingo. Goldingo's solid all the way around, all season. Had to bring him every game. He played almost every game. Just even when he wasn't playing, the threat of him existing was always just kind of there. The good as gold, steel, ghost, learned thunderbolt, right? He was essentially my ace in the hole to be able to cover a lot of different holes. And when he was out there, he might not have honestly been the one I was looking to do damage with, right? Sometimes I might have had him out there with Melodic, and I was looking for Melodic to do the damage, but I knew that they had to respect Goldingo and get Goldingo off so Melodic could get a couple shots off, or Baxcalibur, or Berserker, or whoever else it was, Typhlosion. Next pick was Baxcalibur, and the big reason I wanted Baxcalibur was one, dragon, but at the same time, Ice is super strong for offensive Pokemon, and the fact remains that Baxcalibur's weaknesses kind of offshoot Goldingo's weaknesses. And what I mean by that is, like, everything that Goldingo's weak to, Baxcalibur is either neutral or resist. Everything that Baxcalibur is weak to, Goldingo either is neutral or resist. So being able to play both of them at the same time was an option if I needed it. Also, if someone decided to bring Heatwave for Goldingo Berserker, Baxcalibur could be there to benefit from that. And that was one of the big things with Baxcalibur. As a physical attacker, fear of burn. I know that for a couple times I would forget in the moment, or even during playing, it'd be like, "Oh, Terrifier, Baxcalibur," and it's like, why Terrifier? He can't be burned, so I don't have to worry about being burned with Baxcalibur. Baxcalibur was amazing all season. In a hierarchy, I think Goldingo was more important than Baxcalibur, but Baxcalibur was probably more deadly. Just the fact, again, that Goldingo commanded so much respect that I think Baxcalibur was able to take advantage of that and just come out and hit hard, or Dragon Dance once and start clearing, right? But Baxcalibur, just huge attack, huge bulk, decent speed, really kind of came out on top. Berserker, my boy, my main Viking steel cat thing. Fake out, Iron Head, close combat, knockoff, everything I needed in one little metal cat. Loved him to death. Real excited. Real sad I couldn't bring him for the finals, and I don't remember how much he got to play in the postseason. I know I at least brought him probably once in the quarterfinals. But yeah, he just everything that my team needed, that Goldingo, Baxcalibur, or someone who's stronger just didn't bring. He was my little Rillaboom. He was my little Incineroar. Being able to buff, make it rain, or even buff his own attack, or make it so he couldn't get crit. Great abilities, decent move, like really good move pool. Never really took advantage of any kind of like support. He was always kind of a soul vest just so that he could survive longer. And not only time did he get to do that, he'd get hit by an Earth Power and die, or get crit, and then it was like, well, I could have gone Battle Armor there. But he played great all season. Loved bringing him, loved playing with him. I like playing with lesser bonds a lot, and he was really the guy I really leaned on for that role. Melodic, My girl, I don't know if anybody remembers, but last season I actually drafted Melodic and then dropped her during the free agency period before the season started. Boy, do I regret that now. Competitive is just so nasty in a league that you have to focus on Baxcalibur or trying to slow Goldingo, right? Like, there's not very many options you get to just slow Goldingo. You kind of icy win or you intimidate or, and Melodic was there to benefit for all of that. Probably my favorite sets were Mirror Herb of Melodic. Um, didn't always get to use the Mirror Herb, but I didn't really feel she needed a lot of supporting items. Safety goggles sometimes just to avoid Rage Powder or Spore, but majority of times just Mirror Herb, and if she got to use it, perfect. If not, she was still doing good work. MVP of the season, bar none. You can see 18 kills, 8 deaths. She just, every time she showed up, she was a monster. Loved her to death. Maybe in the future I'll draft her again. The water's such a good typing, and I have so many water mons that I really like, but Melodic was just crazy this season. Mudsdale, didn't draft him. Picked him up. Solid. Put in work in the postseason. Ground type. Definitely needed a ground type, especially as the season went on and more people started, wanting to Thunderbolt Melodic. Well, Mudsdale was able to kind of help me out there. Super slow, allowed me to, if I needed to Trick Room. Probably didn't use him as effectively as I needed to use him, but solid. Vikavolt. So during the draft, it was Vikavolt or Galvantra were the two that I was kind of back and forth on. I believe it might have been another draft I was thinking out that I was wanting to give voucher on Vikavolt. Vikavolt, Levitate. Was thinking Earthquake, being able to have the Levitate next to a Baxcalibur or a Mudsdale was always nice. And then Terra Electric, choice specs, Thunderbolt. Right. Didn't get a lot of opportunities. My team was just a little faster than a lot of times I would expect, and versus my opponent, I like even in the finals, like he had Miss Magius who outsped everybody on my team, but then it went essentially Goldingo, Baxcalibur, Melodic, Draft Rig, Typhlosion, Murkrow before we got to anybody else. So it just didn't seem like there was a lot of opportunities to go Trick Room because people were slower than me. And you could definitely feel early season was one of the things I was talking about, trying to get speed control, because Vikavolt I could throw down sticky webs and slow people down, but if they Trick Room, they were already slower than me, they beat my ass. If I didn't slow them down, they Tailwind beat my ass. Just didn't really have a lot of options for speed control early, which is why I made a couple of the moves I did, like Mudsdale, and then obviously the next one, Murkrow, picking him up, Prankster Tailwind, did what I needed all season. Died a lot, but hey, that's what you get with Murkrow. You get support, Tailwind, and anything else. Foul play. He did great. I think against Gorthax, I did talk to him to make sure, but I think Murkrow was probably a big reason he didn't bring Tatsugiri. Murkrow hates. So he did what he was supposed to do. You could see a kind of a thought going on with some of these guys is like, hey, you have to respect Goldingo, you have to respect Prankster Tailwind. So when you're making game plans, you kind of have to think of those things while you're game planning, which was, I think, benefited my team, especially late season into the playoffs. Typhlosion, great every time I played him. Didn't play him a lot. Always just found a way to outthink myself and bring a Mudsdale or a Vikavolt instead of Typhlosion, and then the times he gets to show off, he just comes out and just erupts or Shadow Balls and just kills everything, and it's like, well, maybe I could have done that more often this season. So Typhlosion was great. Flashfire, again, another trying to protect myself from my fire weaknesses and my ground weaknesses for Goldingo, right? Just trying to support Goldingo the best I can. Giraffe Rig was probably my favorite pickup. It came down between him and Stantler. Could have got another an Intimidate Mon, right, with Stantler. But Draft Rig being unable to be flinched really kind of sealed it for me. And then I came up with actually this exact move pool for it a couple weeks ago. I was actually going to use it. I think it might have been Arcanines. I was going to go Sap Sipper with this set so that I could bring it in, get hit by a grass move, and then fucking Sap Sipper, Imprison, Psychic everything. But I think I decided against it because, one, I didn't know if I wanted to try to slow him down or try to Imprison Trick Room, and also King Gambit. King Gambit was a really big threat. And I know I say that going up against Incineroar and doing it, but King Gambit was a little bit more scary for me, I think. And I think I was a little bit more worried of him doing more Tear Darks. And I think King Gambit made more sense to play against me versus like an Incineroar. Incineroar, I think, in my mind, Melodic was so scary that he had a Terra if he was going to stay out there with Incineroar. And then I didn't think he was going to bring Intimidate, because people stopped bringing Intimidate after probably like week 7 or 8 or probably week 6, honestly, with Melodic just boosting. I think Arcanine brought it first matchup against him, and then he didn't bring it on the second matchup. But just boosting Melodic, I thought, was always like an option and something to be scared about. And how well I handled Torracat, I didn't know if he was gonna try that, but he obviously did, and I had made plans for the possibility. I'd actually planned game 1 to lead Giraffe Rig Melodic, and then decided against it and put back Excalibur Clear Ammo out there. And then I think that really kind of sealed the deal that Incineroar Intimidate wasn't really going to be that useful with the lineup I was bringing, because or else you just kind of intimidate Mudsdale, which I think you can kind of handle without intimidation. But yeah, the whole season went really well. Like all my Mons, probably going to screenshot these bad boys and put them somewhere, championship team, something. Second time in the Hall of Fame for this league. Oatmeal 2-time MVP, our Hall of Fame season. Yeah, boys. See what happens next season. Pretty excited. Want to say thank you to everybody. Y'all played great. Every single one of you guys played great that I played, and I loved playing against you guys. I guess I'll talk about the team I built a little bit real quick. So this was the team that I built for the finals. Choice Specs, Ghost, Clear Amulet, Godzilla, Mirror Herb, Melodic, Terrifying. Again, he had some ground weaknesses with, Incineroar. He had obviously Dragonite and Mismagius with Levitate, but I figured that just having the ground move was pretty threatening to Slowking and Incineroar, so definitely wanted to bring that. Mudsdale, Terra Fighting. I didn't really think I was ever going to Terra Mudsdale, but just in case. Terra Fairy with Golden Go. I thought he might try to counter that, especially with like Slowking Poison moves. But I just think that it's hard to counter the Terra Fairy with, Steel Ghost into a Terra Fairy defensively, and you could see that game, whatever game it was, that Terra Goldingo. It's hard to get. I think it was game 1. Yeah, one of the two. And then Terra Bug, Draft Rig, really the MVP of the match. Just the fact that it was staying out there. I did talk to Miss Mag afterwards, and he only brought Protect on one Pokemon, so the Imprison Protect didn't really go exactly the way I wanted it, with only having Imprison 1 Protect, but it helped me mentally play because I knew that he could not Protect. So I didn't know which Pokemons had Protect, but I knew that he couldn't. So I could double into every single slot if I wanted to. And there's nothing he could do other than move his Pokemon. And if I'm throwing psychic and shadow balls at people, or glaive rush and psychic, or whatever move plus psychic. Yeah, and Incineroar resists psychic, or can't hit Incineroar. But Scald can, Glaive Rush can, High Horsepower can. So if I'm doubling into those slots and you're bringing Incineroar or whoever, they're going to take damage. And it's not going to be nothing either. So yeah, I mean, I was pretty happy with Girafarig, even surviving the Darkest Lariat. Just bulky, 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 bulky. Really loved Girafarig. Probably MVP of the finals was Girafarig. MVP of the season, Melodic. Finals, Girafarig. Godzilla was awesome all season. Flames a Lot was awesome all season. Claudie was awesome, and Golden Ghost, like I said, he might not have always been the MVP of the game or MVP of the series, but just the fact that he was there always really helped relieve the stress on the rest of the team having to do anything. But I probably talked enough. Let's end this ride instead of having you guys blinded by that shit. Like I said, great season, everybody. MVP Miami. RK9's awesome. Jeff, you still owe me a rematch at some point. Maine, awesome. Pranksters, love you, guy. Love you, Miami. Love all you guys. Montana, I will eventually beat you at some point, hopefully. Silphco, you scare me. You're getting better and better. Raleigh, you beat me again, or beat me this season. Darkrai, same as Montana Meganiums. One day I'll win. I don't know when, but it'll be one day. Great season. Good season, great season, great season. Beat my ass. Terra Water, Annihilate. I didn't play you, but hell yeah. Alright. Good luck next season, guys.